Good morning and welcome to the Planning Board regular meeting on Thursday, March 13th, 2025 at 9:30 a.m. Daylight Time. Please silence your cell phones. I did mine. Okay. Roll call. Mr. Hart, please call the roll.
Member Rosen. Member Brown.
Present.
Member Powell.
Here.
Member Chinovsky.
Here.
Member Axelrod. Vice Chairperson Mendelson.
Here.
Thank you.
Okay, can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Is there a call for a motion to accept the agenda as presented? Okay, second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Swearing in of the public. For those giving testimony, please stand and raise your right hands to be sworn in and provide testimony for the application you are affiliated with. Mr. Hart, please swear in those giving testimony.
By the authority vested in me as a notary of the state of Florida, do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. You may be seated.
Next, approval of the minutes of January 16th, 2025. Are there any corrections to the minutes of January 16th, 2025?
Nope.
Hearing none, may I have a motion to approve the minutes of January 16th, 2025? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Unfinished business, none. New business. A, development order application number PZ 25-18, Bel Air at Highland Beach Homeowners Association, Inc. Application by B&M Marine Construction, Inc., requesting a special exception to install a 430 square foot dock for the property located at 1023 Bel Air Drive. Do any board members have any ex parte communications to disclose? Okay, none. At this time, I now open the public hearing. Town Planner Allen, please present the application.
Okay, good morning, everybody. As indicated, this is a special exception request to install a 430 square foot dock. According to the applicant's survey, there is currently a vinyl dock, which will be removed. Let's start off looking at the aerials, which are in your packet. Here you have the property. Here you have the rear of the property where the dock is currently located. The applicant did receive Florida Department of Environmental Protection authorization. I provided that file number on page 9 of your packets. And according to that FDEP authorization, a permit from U.S. Army Corps of Engineers is not required. Let's go ahead and look at the plans. Again, these are the 11/17 plans, in your packet. Went a little bit ahead. So here you have the proposed new dock. Here you have the description here on the bottom. Again, 430 square feet. And here you have a detail of the dock. If the planning board approves a request, the applicant will be required to obtain a building permit from the town of Highland Beach. Pursuant to section 30-21G, commencement of construction shall be initiated within 2 years following the date of approval by the planning board. Staff did review the applicant's proposed request, which includes plans state stamp received by the building department on February 21st, 2025, and finds that the plans are indeed consistent with the special exception provisions of section 30-36 of the town code, where applicable, and consistent with the town comprehensive plan and code of ordinances. I'll be glad to address any questions. We also have the applicant's agent, David Nutter, here as well.
Do any board members have any questions for staff? Nope. Applicant, you may make a presentation if you wish. Okay. Do the board members have any questions for the applicant that didn't make a presentation yet?
I'm sorry, I
Okay.
have just a question.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Sure.
Ingrid, where it says on this plan, the extended property line, which is for the 5-foot setback line, what is the extended property line mean?
What sheet are you on, please?
I'm on page SHT 2,
Okay, let me take a look.
sheet 2. Depending on how many vowels.
Oh, so that's just taking the property line into the water. We have a provision in the code that actually talks about how you take the property line and extend it into the water. You know, it's not really an issue here, but we have some properties that sometimes are at an angle. So you want to carry out that property line into the water to be sure, let's say, you know, a boat is not going to go past that property line. But in this case, you know, it's.
So their property line actually goes into the water.
No, if you look at the survey, which is right before sheet -1, you'll see the property line. The property line is pretty much where the seawall is. Again, they just did that just to show how the property extends into the water. But in this case, again, it's not really applicable. I think Mr. Nutter did that because he's had other projects where the property line was at an angle and then there was some issue as to, you know, how that property line extends into the water. But no, you could see that the property line is just, you know, probably where that seawall is. And the dock is outside the property line. Yep.
I have one question for David.
Okay.
I have more information. David, I have a question for you. Vinyl to wood, I hear others going wood to vinyl. I'm just curious what the idea was going from vinyl now, which they have vinyl right now, but they're going to wood. What was the reasoning behind that?
Didn't like it.
I think not a lot of people want to vinyl that. It's not comfortable walking like that, especially in the hot sun.
Okay,
So just like a.
all right.
Okay, you have a question?
Yeah, well, the only question or it's not even really a question, just want to be clear, the current existing vinyl dock does not meet the 5-foot setback requirements, correct? But the new one does, right? Am I seeing that correctly?
Let's see. Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, looks like that on the survey, yes.
That's it.
Great.
Thank you.
Anybody else on the board? Okay, if there's any members of the public who would like to comment on this application? Anybody in the public? No? Okay. And do board members have any questions for anybody else? Okay. The public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion to approve with conditions, or a motion to deny the request? I'll second that. All in favor, I guess you should take a roll call, yeah, sorry.
Member Rosen,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Mendelson.
Yes.
Member Brown,
Yes.
Member Powell,
Yes.
Member Chinovsky,
Yes,
Member Axelrod. Motion carries. Thank you.
Okay, next we have development order application PZ 24 Patty and Alan Masarek. Application by Lawrence Frankel Homes, requesting an amendment to a previously approved major modification to an existing building, DO number 24-0002, in order to add a 21 square foot balcony to the west side of the residence and a landscaping plan for the property located at 3515 South Ocean Boulevard. Do any board members have any ex-parte communications to disclose? No. At this time, I now open the public hearing. Town Planner Allen, please present the application.
Okay, good afternoon again, or good morning. So again, as stated, this is an amendment to a previously approved major modification to an existing residence, an existing structure. That development order number again is 24-0002. That application was approved by the planning board on April 11th, 2024. And now they're requesting to amend it because they want to add the 21 square foot balcony as well as a landscaping plan. Now, on page 53 of your packets, I provided you a description of what a major modification is code, and I've also provided you what their initial major modification is for, an additional square footage under AC. 347 square feet. It also included a new covered entry, exterior facade changes, as well as an alteration to the roof line. Let's go ahead and just have a little refresher on this property. So here we have the property 3515. Here you have the front of the existing residence. And here you have the rear of the property. So I stated here in your staff report that prior to submitting their initial major modification, staff met with the applicant. I often have pre-application meetings with most of the applicants. And they had indicated to me that they wanted to put a balcony on the west side of the residence, the front home. Now, according to their site plan, the existing structure, which was built in 1996, has a front setback of 36 feet 2 inches. Now, in the RML zoning district, if you're on A1A, your front setback is 40 feet. So right there, I thought, well, this looks like a non-conforming structure. And I did make a note in your staff report that it is not uncommon to have non-conforming structures in the town. I did look in the town records. We have a separate folder in the town records that says zoning variances, and there was nothing for this property under zoning variances. And if you look at the section that I referenced in again, on page 53, section 3-10581 talks about nonconforming structures. You're not allowed to extend a nonconformity. And by them adding the balcony, they're extending which you cannot do. So at that time, I'd advise the applicant, well, one way to deal with the scenario is to go for a variance. If it was then possibly you can get an accommodation for that balcony. So in anticipation of the applicant's variance, I went ahead back into the town records. I decided to do a search of the address 3515 and I actually took a screenshot of the number of entries that I got for 3515. It was 3,029 entries. I did, obviously I didn't go through each entry, but I was scanning just Board of Appeals minutes or anything. And lo and behold, I came across a Board of Appeals minutes from October 18th of 1994, where the applicant actually received 3 variances. Now, again, when the applicant initially met with me, they didn't know that there was a variance approved for the property. These things happen. So on page 54 of your packets, I provided the 3 variances. And the one that applies here is that they got a front setback variance approved from 40 feet to 25 feet. So I advise the applicant, guess what? Variance that I let pass. So therefore now the 21-foot property is now in compliance with setback. However, they would still have to come back to the board because balconies do trigger a major modification. So let me go ahead and show you on the plans again. These are in your packet. This is. And I've gone ahead and highlighted right here in yellow just to help you see it. This is that 21 square foot balcony that we're talking about here. Here it is right here. Oops. And I asked the applicant to put the elevation, what was previously. I've gone ahead and highlighted the new balcony here. Again, this is the front elevation. This is how it was previously approved. It was just a window. Okay, just to give you a little bit of perspective there. Also part of the initial major modification, again, that development order 24-0002, the applicant had indicated that there was not going to be any new landscaping on the property or an FDOT's right of way. The applicant is now proposing new landscaping on their property and an FDOT right of way, which is totally fine. Now, typically, we like to bring these items to the planning board with an FDOT approval. But as I indicated in the staff report, it is pending. I did discuss it with the town manager. He was okay, Marshall Labadie, to bring forward this request for the landscaping, even though the applicant doesn't necessarily have an FDOT approval at this moment. I did go ahead and put some conditions that if the board does approve this amendment to the previously approved major modification, that there'd be a condition that the applicant get FDOT approval of the proposed landscaping in the right of way. And once they get that, they're required to go before the commission to get an approval for the amendment to FDOT, or I should say the landscape inclusive memorandum of agreement that the town has with time to amend FDOT right of way, the landscaping, you trigger an amendment to that agreement. So that's that. Let's go ahead and look at the landscape plans that the applicant has provided. This is their tree disposition plan. Just give you a little bit hard to read here on the slide. They are removing 10 trees. They're relocating 1. They're keeping 15. They're adding 7 trees and 25 palm trees. And here you have the landscape plan. And that's the rear. And here you have some details on the landscaping. And here you have the irrigation plan. Again, this is all in your 11 by 17 sheets in your packet. So staff reviewed the applicant's request, including plans dates that received by the building department on February 19, 2025, and finds that the project is consistent with the code. Again, I mentioned those conditions of approval that are indicated on page 54 and 55 of your packets. I'm glad to address any questions, and we also have the applicant's agent here to address any questions as well.
Okay, does any board member have any questions?
I have one just in the process.
Whatever.
If we approve subject to FDOT,
Yeah,
and I hear you that it goes to the commission
Right.
then, do we amend the planning commission records to substantiate that that approval has occurred, or does it just happen at the commission level?
how does that work? I'll defer that to Mr. Rubin. How would that, I don't know that that happens, does it? Is there? I don't know if there's a cross-reference.
I don't
Yeah.
believe that. It's just, right, this board approves it and then it just goes to the commission and life goes on. If commission didn't approve it, then we would have to address, come back and make any modifications. But if the
And-
commission approves it, it just goes on.
Right, and of course, staff manages all that, right? We make sure we get the
And
approval.
then the
Yeah.
second question is this a time frame that's also subject to finishing or starting in 2 years?
Yes, I did put that on bottom of page
I thought
54.
you did. I just
Yeah.
wanted to-
Yes,
Thank you.
uh-huh.
Anybody else? Yes?
In other words, they're talking possibly, yes, about widening the road or whatever, which could in fact impinge on the property of the people, correct?
Well, I guess when we get when we get an FDOT approval, we'll see. I don't anticipate that. We've had other projects here in the town where, there's no issue with the property line. Yeah, I would have to wait to get the FDOT approval. And again, when that is received, staff will look at it and Make it
Just from my point of view, to David's question, the setback requirement of the 40 feet is from
the property line, correct?
the-
It's
from
nothing to
the-
do with the right of way.
from the state-owned property line, it doesn't have anything to do with where the road is actually, unless the road
Correct.
is outside of the state-owned property line, correct?
That's correct.
Does that help?
Okay, so can you just show me where they're going to, with your little thing, where they're gonna put it into the right of way? Can you just show me where that is?
The landscaping?
Yeah, the landscaping.
Yeah, just something happened. Hold on one second. Let me go back.
Is there a wall in front of this
Yeah.
house?
If you go to L4, you'll see all the details. Hold on, I think I lost the connection here. One moment. I'll be happy to pull it back up. Yes, if you go to L4, you see that they have what they're proposing in the right of way. You'll see the
Where's
artificial
L4?
turf. They have some, they have a C
Where is L4? I'm sorry. I'm
sheet L4 in your packet, C11 by 17.
But there is a.
You'll have to come to the mic.
Yeah, if you can come to the mic.
We're looking to approve.
so you can't put it up on that
Let me
screen?
see. I don't know why it went away.
21.
Wait,
Square feet that'll never be seen for street with visible.
There's an existing wall, an existing wall. We're proposing to push to proposed to put 2 new columns in and push them closer to the property line to give them better turning radii, because it is tight. But in the middle island where the columns are, we're actually gonna do a slotted metal fence. So it'll be transparent, because we didn't want to completely obstruct the beautiful facade that we're spending a lot of money on to create. So the idea is you'll have these columns that create the gateway. And since we're rival playing in the driveways, but in the middle island, it's gonna be transparent open into the road. And the house sits so high up on the elevation, again, we didn't want to take away from that.
Could you just please state your name for the record? Thank you.
okay.
Here's the right of way.
Yes.
So here's the landscaping on sheet L4 is what they're proposing. So you could see on here, again, you can't see it from here, but on your sheet, you'll be able to clearly read it.
Right.
There's artificial turf here, and then there's some palm trees that are proposed here on each side. This is a palm tree, that's a palm tree. And then they have different shrubs along this area here.
I'm just wondering why. Because, and I'm going to use Toscana as a reference. We're going to lose a lot of planting that we have because it's in their right of way. And that has been there for a long time. So I'm just wondering how it works that you just go in front of them and they're just going to say, okay, put it in the right of way while they're in the middle of this widening project. I'm just wondering how that works. Like, what is the time frame for FDOT approving putting more things into the right of way to use their right of way?
The timing varies. I mean,
Mhm.
sometimes they take several months. It seems like they're taking longer now, and I don't know if it's because of manpower. I really don't know. Until we get the approval, then we'll see if they have any issue. I could tell you that we've had several single-family homes, do landscaping in the right-of-way, and pretty much a great majority of them have always been approved. There may have been some discussion between the applicant and FDOT. Maybe a tree was not right place, right tree, and maybe they had them change it. But pretty much what they submit, FDOT has approved from what my experience has been. But again, this could be something that maybe they have to switch something around. I really don't know. And we really are at the mercy of FDOT. And as I said, once that approval comes in, I'm going to look at it and make sure it matches, what they are requesting for your approval today. And then we'll have to go from there.
So Len, what you said is that if it's not approved exactly as it is, we have to come back here anyway.
Then it
right?
would probably come back, yes.
Okay. Well, it's my opinion, just my opinion, and we're going to vote that we should not approve it until FDOT approves it. That would be the way I would want to do it because.
Just to that point,
Yeah.
legally, we really can't.
Oh, you can't do.
You can't hold up for other agency approvals. You can just make it a condition of
Okay,
approval.
well, if legally we can't, we can't. There you go.
The 2 palm trees, those are actually existing, so the only landscape that we're proposing in the right of way are shrubs and ground cover.
Yeah, right. I get that. Okay, so let's go on with the, okay, so does anybody else have any questions for either the town planner or the representative of the applicant? Okay, you have anything more you want to present or, okay. Are there any members of the public who would like to comment on the application? So there's none. So one more time, do any board members have any questions of anybody that has been here today. Okay. The public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion to approve, a motion to approve with conditions, or a motion to deny? And you're telling me that we can't even make a motion to deny. We have no right to do.
Well, not on that basis, because there's a statute that says essentially if there's a third party, another governmental approval that's required, you can only make it a condition of approval.
Okay. Yeah, we can.
No, you can just make it a condition of approval, which Ingrid has already done.
So why is there a choice of a motion to deny? Just because that's what they always write?
That is exactly what they always write, and maybe there's some other basis, but not on
Okay.
this particular.
Well, I haven't
basis.
heard
That's
any
what
other
the code
basis.
says.
Right, I
Right.
got
That's
it.
what the village, right,
Okay.
that's what the planning. board
Yeah, I think it
Okay.
says you either, right, approve with conditions or deny.
Okay. Do we have a motion to?
I would
approve?
make a motion to approve. I think it's very creative and very impressive from the design point of view, but I'd make a motion to approve.
Okay, and
Is that with the
with
conditions?
conditions that Ingrid,
I agree with Len. I mean, to come back,
No, we really, the conditions are just that we're going to require FDOT approval, which we should do.
right,
I think we need to make the motion subject to the approval of DOT
Right.
before it goes before the commission.
me too. I second that.
I would second that.
Okay, good. So we have a motion to approve with conditions that FDOT approve what they've done. And if they don't approve it as submitted to FDOT, it comes back here, right?
Correct.
Okay, good. Okay, can we,
Need a second.
second? Okay, please call the roll.
Member Chinovsky,
Yes.
Member Axelrod, Member Rosen, Member Brown,
Yes.
Vice Chairperson Mendelson.
Yes,
Thank you.
okay. Now we have some announcements. April 8th at 1 o'clock, a special magistrate hearing. And April 10th at 9:30, another planning board meeting. And the meeting is adjourned at 5 to 10.
Outstanding.
Okay.
Outstanding. Good looking. It looks good. It looks really good.
I can read really